Good morning. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, July 10th, 2024, 9:30 a.m. meeting. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Chairman, do you have any opening remarks?
Of course, I wouldn't miss that opportunity for the world. For those of you who haven't appeared before us before, the way we conduct the hearings, the order in which we call the cases is as follows. If there are any adjournments, we will call those cases first, after which we will get into the cases that will remain on the calendar for today. The proceedings, as I mentioned earlier, are live streamed. We would ordinarily have a court reporter in the room to take things down, but she's been logged in already. We would ask that you speak very slowly and speak into the microphone so that we can take everything down. You're free to refer to the hearings at any time in the future. I don't believe there's anyone in opposition today, but if there are, the applicant is first given the opportunity to present their case. Then any people who would like to appear in opposition will be given the opportunity to do so. And finally, we give the applicant the opportunity to sum up. Once we close the hearings, they're closed. We will not accept any additional evidence. We're pretty lax on the rules of evidence because this is not a court of law. It's an administrative body. So we have the ability to accept whatever we deem to be relevant. Okay? Are there, Patrick?
Mr. Chairman, I have a few cases for adjournment. First, we have case 46424, Elmont Marie Cherry, doing business as JCM and JC Incorporated, also known as 12 Arcade Place.
Anybody here on that case? Come up. Come up, if you're here on the case.
Please sit down and state your name and address for the record.
Speak into the microphone, ma'am. Is she sworn?
She just needs
My
to be.
name is
It's
Marie
just-
Cherry. And your address, please? 12 Arcade Place, Elmont, New York,
Okay.
11003.
Okay. So the notice is defective. We have to postpone the case. We're going to give you the first available date, which is,
August 7th at 11 a.m.
okay, August 7th, 11 a.m.
I've been waiting for this for almost 2 years. It's back and forth. I do everything they tell me to do. I don't know why they have to postpone again and again and again.
Madam, the notice is defective. It's jurisdictionally defective. We can't hear the case. If it's any consolation to you, we're giving you the first available date. I inspected your property. I did it personally. Okay? It's a lovely home, right? I don't believe, subject to what we hear, I don't believe that there is any objection. The fence is already in place, so you're not going to suffer any harm. But we cannot hear the case today because you did not properly comply with the mailing requirements.
I did. I have everything to
Ma'am,
prove.
I'm not really going to have a dialogue with you, with all due respect.
By the way, I sell the house. The harassment was too much. I sell the house. I'm no longer the owner because the town put me to hell, so I have nothing to do but to sell the house.
Okay. So
Every day is a
hopefully
problem.
you'll get a very good price. You keep
Yeah.
it very well. It's a lovely home.
I sell it 6 months
Nicest home in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
August 7th, 11 o'clock.
ago. August
Okay.
7.
August
I hope they don't
7th.
change the date again.
Well, if you do the mailings properly, we won't change the date again.
So I'm sorry. If you go down to the BZA office right now and speak with Chandler, he will give you the new mailing notice.
Just make sure the mailing is in the window, because it can't be before the window either. Like, there's a state law, so just make sure you
Yeah.
get the mailing in the window.
I do everything they tell me.
Okay.
Okay.
Good enough.
Thank you.
Is that 9 or
11 o'clock. And you're chairing, by the way.
Mr. Chairman, we have one more application for adjournment. It is case 47224 through 47324, near Valley Stream, Eric and Alana Cohen, also known as 807 Van Dam Street. Mr. Chair, your name and address for the record.
Andrew Shear, 391 Garfield Avenue, West Hempstead, New York, 11552.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So it's another defective notice.
Guilty.
Okay, at least you admit it.
Human.
Patrick?
So we can also do August 7th at 11.
8/7, 11 a.m. Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Is there anybody else here for adjournment? Oh, I'm sorry.
Come up.
We have one more. This is case 45924, Elmont Mobile Gas Station, also known as 101 Hempstead Turnpike. Name and address for the record, please.
That's renewal.
Oh.
On 459?
459? Why is that going to be adjourned?
It's a renewal.
Yeah.
Should we just second call them and let them work it out or something?
Why? If there's somebody here objecting?
I think they both think they're representing the applicant. It's a renewal.
Fellas, excuse me, gentlemen, we're going to put this on second call while you work out what you have to work out outside, please. It's a renewal.
Okay,
Got
we're going
two
to
guys
call
in there.
case 138624, Baldwin St. Christopher R.C. Church,
Yeah.
amusement rides special event,
8/7.
duration July 18th, 2024 through July 21st, 2024, also known as church parking lot.
You got to...
Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please take a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Okay. Joanne Giretti, 31 Baldwin Avenue.
I'm sorry,
Baldwin.
please pull the microphone closer to your...
What?
Pull the
Could you
microphone
please
closer.
pull the mic? Yeah,
Close, okay.
loudly and slowly.
Joanne Giretti, 31 Baldwin Avenue, Baldwin, New York, 11510.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I'm
go
here for
ahead.
St. Christopher's Feast.
Okay, you want to give us I think I've seen you here before, right?
I've been
Few
doing
times.
this forever.
Okay, so go ahead and tell us the dates, the
Sure.
times.
It starts July 18th, 19th, 20th, 21. Friday, it's from 6 to 10. Saturday, it's 6 to 11. Sunday, 6 to 11. What I leave? Oh, Thursday, I'm sorry, is 6 to 10.
Okay, and
And we have rides, about 10 rides. We cook all the food in the school
Premises.
cafeteria. The health department, of course, approved what we're doing. I notified our precinct, first precinct, and I also notified county. In Mineola, we get sanitation 2 does pickups, and also the county sanitation gives us a roll-off. We have our own security also during the whole feast, and the first precinct comes through, periodically.
on the 2 days that you're going to 11, Saturday and Sunday,
No, I'm sorry, it's really Friday.
Friday and Saturday,
Saturday.
and then Thursday and Sunday are till 10, right?
Till 10.
So on the 2 days they go to 11, to stop the music by 10, right?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, the showmobile closes.
How many years have you
Me
conducted this?
personally?
Not you, but how
Well,
many
me
years?
personally and the feast since 1975.
Wow.
I'm getting too old for this. But everything's homemade, so if you want a good meatball hero or something, stop by.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would just move that case 1386 of 2024 in Baldwin, St. Christopher's Roman Catholic Church, that their special event be approved as requested.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions?
Okay, thank you.
What's with the sound system? Oh, how nice. Yeah.
Next, we're calling case 45424, Oceanside, Francesco and Kezi Fantasia. Renewal of grant to maintain 4-foot and 6-foot high fences forward a dwelling which may substantially obstruct line of sight, also known as 475 Chelsea Road. Mr. Chairman, there is an application for an appearance waiver on this application.
This is a residential case. There's an application for an appearance waiver, which we will grant. The building department inspected the premises on April 12, 2024, and found that all conditions previously imposed by this board have been once again complied with. Any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I would just move that the hearing be
Slow it
closed,
down.
that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. The applicant will be notified of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? I'm speaking very slowly
That's what I was
because...
doing.
Right.
Much appreciated. Next, we have case 45524 near Westbury, Ginger M. Zuniga. Renewal of grant to maintain pool and pool deck not permitted in front yard on Lace Lane and with less than required front yard setback. Maintain a 6-foot high fence larger than pool installation area and forward of the dwelling which may substantially obstruct line of sight, also known as 23 Melody Lane.
Anyone here on this case? Even though they didn't ask for it, it's renewal of a grant to maintain pool and deck not permitted in the front yard. So I'm going to grant an appearance waiver on the case. You know what? Mark it second. Let's give them a chance to come in. All right, next case.
Next, we have case 45624, Belmore, MK Belmore Realty LLC. Renewal of grant to maintain one double-face detached illuminated pylon sign, overall size 96 square feet, 48 square feet per face, overall height 21.5 feet, and setback 6 feet from front property line and 3 feet from side property line, also known as 2780 Merrick Road.
Derek Weinberger, 2477 Merrick Road, Belmore, New York, 11710.
And your status? You're here for the applicant?
Yeah, I'm here on behalf of MK Realty.
Okay.
I'm one of the property managers / consultants.
Okay.
So the mailings have been sent to the wrong address over however many years the pylon's been in effect. And we finally got the notice. The mail's been being sent to the tenant rather than the landlord. So
Wait, you mean, so we call mailings the mailings you need to do in anticipation of this hearing. It sounds to me like you're referring to the communication from this office to the applicant.
the documents regarding renewals and just
Okay.
anything regarding the
All right.
permit has been mailed to the incorrect address.
But you've corrected that in our office.
I believe so.
Okay, well, you got the mail, you
That's
got the
why you're here.
information, you've done the mailing, everything's gone smoothly for us to go ahead and proceed with this renewal. When we're done, then you need to go down to the office and get that corrected, okay?
As far as the sign, nothing's changed. It's still in good condition. The address needs to be corrected for the
This,
documents.
yeah, okay. This is also a renewal of a grant. Building Department inspected the property on March 26th, 2024, and found that all conditions previously imposed by this board have been complied with once again. So, do I have any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I'll move, Mr. Chairman, that the hearing be closed, that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered. Go ahead in a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions?
If we change the address now, will the decision go to the right place?
When you signed in, did you sign in with the correct address?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, you're done.
I'm
Thank
good to
you.
go?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Now we got a problem.
Next, we have case 45724, Baldwin, Butch Yamali, doing business as Dover Coral House. Renewal of grant to maintain detached double-face illuminated ground sign, setback 5 feet from Milburn Avenue and 18.5 feet from Old Mill Road with changeable copy, also known as 70 Milburn Avenue.
Good morning. Lou Casali, 70 Milburn Avenue, Baldwin. Yeah, I'm representing the Dover Group. Sure.
All right. So we're going to adjourn this case for a short period of time so that the applicant can make some corrections to the submissions. Patrick, next available? August 7th, 9:30? Yeah, but he needs time. He needs a couple of weeks. He needs, yeah. Okay. Okay.
August 7th at 9:30.
Okay? All right. See you then.
Thanks.
Welcome. Next case.
Next, we have case 45824 Baldwin, Weasley and Tara Hurley, renewal of grant to maintain two-family dwelling, also known as 697 Beach Street.
Page.
Wesley Hurley,
Oh.
697 Beach Street, here for a renewal of grant for two-family dwelling.
All right. The building department inspected the premises on April 24th of 2024 and found that all conditions previously imposed by this board have been complied with. Do you have anything else you'd like to add? Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail, sir, of the board's decision once it's rendered. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Well
opposed?
done.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Next, we have case 45924 Elmont Mobile Gas Station, renewal of grant to maintain one double-faced illuminated detached ground sign with LED price sign, not permitted, attached to thereto. Overall size 170 square feet, 85 square feet per face. Overall height 17 feet 8 inches, and a 6'7" clearance from bottom of sign to grade. Setback 3 feet 9 inches from Hempstead Turnpike and 4 feet 5 inches from Wellington Road, and within clear sight triangle, also known as 101 Hempstead Turnpike.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Morning.
My name is Andrew Stewart, S-T-U-A-R-T. We are from High Point Engineering, 1860 Walt Whitman Road, Suite 600, Millville, New York, 11747. We are the engineer of record who filed the application here on behalf of the applicant and operator Bola EM Realty for, as discussed, renewal of a detached ground sign variance.
So you won the wrestling match with the other guy?
Yeah,
I did, yes.
you're a lot taller than he is.
It helps out.
Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. So the building department inspected this property. It is a renewal. They inspected it on May 7th and found that all conditions previously imposed by the board have once again been complied with. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. If not, do I have any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Have a great day.
Next, we have cases 46024 through 46324 Franklin Square, Thomas Grasso. Special exception to maintain wood shed with less than required side yard setback. Variances, side yards maintain 2 AC units attached to dwelling. Special exception to maintain second accessory structure, vinyl shed with less than required side yard setback. Variance to maintain senior residence, each separate dwelling area exceeding 800 square feet in total floor space, also known as 815 3rd Avenue.
Tina Pangallo, 549 Hempstead Turnpike, West Hempstead, New York, 11552. Good morning, Chairman, members of the board.
Morning.
I'm representing Thomas Grasso of 815 3rd Avenue in Franklin Square. The property is located on the west side of 3rd Avenue, 405.90 feet south of Sheila Court in Residence B. We're requesting a variance to maintain a second kitchen for senior residence use that exceeds the square footage allowed, 2 sheds with less than the required side yards, and 2 AC units with less than the required side yard setbacks. The maximum square footage for a senior residence is 800 square feet. The square footage provided is 982 square feet. Mr. Grasso lives on the first floor with his daughter, lives on the first floor, and his daughter, husband, and children live on the second floor.
So is the senior residence the big shed?
It's a senior residence.
It's not quite that big.
Shed number 1 is 11.9 by 8.4. The side yard required is 2 feet, and the side yard provided is 0.95 feet. The rear yard,
Yep.
the rear yard meets the minimum required. The rear yard setback is 3.37 feet. The shed is 10 feet high, so it should have been denied for height because it's over the 9-foot maximum. I don't know if that could be added at this point.
So you want to
Amend
make a
the
motion
caption.
to add that to the caption, given the fact that in every other respect, the plans show the proper dimensions and we're on file for 30 days?
Yes,
Okay, and the drawings, whatever drawings we have of the shed itself, show the accurate measurements, and
Dimensions.
we're on file for 30 days?
yes, that's correct. It shows the 10 feet.
So you want to make a motion to amend the
Yes.
caption?
Thank you.
We'll grant that.
Shed number 2 is a vinyl shed, 6.5 by 6.5 and 7 feet 6 inches tall. It's a second accessory structure and violates the side yard setback of 2 feet. The side yard is 3 inches. The shed provides storage for pool items, his grandchildren's items, and tools since the garage has been converted to living space.
Are there, Ms. Pangallo, any complaints from the neighbors about
No.
the sheds? And how long have they been there?
He purchased the house in 2013, and all these things were there when he purchased the house.
And did he
And I
just-
do have, I'm sorry.
Did he discover the need to legalize them because of the senior residence application?
No, money was held in escrow, so it's actually been held in escrow since 2013 to get all this stuff legalized.
So it was the sale that led them to discover these items need to be legalized?
That's correct.
And you represent the seller,
No, I represent Mr. Grasso.
Grasso.
the buyer?
What happened was there was another architect and expediter that was involved in this, and nothing
why it took 10
happened, so then
years.
his attorney contacted me so that we could get this moving along again.
Mr. Grasso is the back then buyer and lives there, and he's over 62.
That's
Yes.
correct. I also have letters from 2 neighbors indicating they have no objections.
They all have sheds, too. They all have sheds. I was in the backyard.
And he's also aware that the senior residence only applies to him, and if he sells, it must be removed.
I told them. Any other questions from the board? If not, can I get a motion?
Move the hearing be closed. The matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Pangallo, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second?
Thank you.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Next, we have cases 465 through 46624, Levittown, Stephanie Morales. Variance, side yards aggregate, construct 2-story addition attached to dwelling. Variance, side yards aggregate, maintain partial garage conversion to living space, also known as 6 High Lane. Ms. Pangallo, I have you sworn in from earlier, just your name and address again for the record.
Tina Pangallo, 549 Hempstead Turnpike, West Hempstead, New York, 11552. I'm here representing Stephanie Morales of 6 High Lane in Levittown. We're requesting a variance to construct a 2-story addition attached to the dwelling and to maintain a partial garage conversion that violates the side yard aggregate required of 15 feet. The side yard provided is 12.2 feet. This is common in the Levittown area. The homeowner is serving in the military and right now is stationed in Jacksonville, Florida. She just got married and will be moving back to the house in New York. Her 67-year-old father was diagnosed with dementia, and she has had to move him to an assisted living facility. Her dad has outgrown the facility's care, and he now needs one-on-one nurse care. They were asked by the facility to begin looking for other options. I would like to submit a letter from the homeowner and from the medical sufficiency letter describing his condition, along with a letter from 3 neighbors indicating they have no objection to the board granting this variance. The addition will be expanded so that the house will have enough quarters for her father and his live-in aide on the 2nd floor, and increase the 1st floor as she plans to start a family as well, and we're respectfully asking the board to grant this variance.
The father's going to be on the
Second floor?
Yes, that's correct.
How old is he?
67.
He's a baby. He can get upstairs. Okay, we'll
And the
accept
only
these in
variance-
evidence.
The only
The
variance
variance-
you need
Side
for
yard
that,
aggregate.
addition is that side yard aggregate.
That's correct.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Bengali will be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you very much.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Next, we have cases 46724 through 46824, Uniondale, Maria Mendez. Variances, front yard setbacks on Leonard Avenue and Elm Place. Side yard, maintain a 2nd-story addition with overhang and cellar entrance, all attached to dwelling. Maintain 4-foot-high fence forward to dwelling and located in clear sight triangle at owner's driveway, also known as 455 Elm Place.
Mr. Goodall.
Maria Mendez. I live in
Hold on a second. We're getting interference.
And then you're going to have to speak much louder.
Slowly.
My
Okay.
name is Maria Mendez. I live in 455 Elm Place, Uniondale, New York, 11733.
There's the oval.
My name is Nada Diaz-Valorio. Address is 308 East Meadow Ave in East Meadow, New York, 11554.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Richard M. Bavone, 308 East Meadow Avenue, East Meadow, appearing as the agent for Maria Mendez. Subject location is 455 Elm Place, which is in Uniondale. Respectfully requesting both cases be heard as one.
So granted.
I have Maria Mendez to the left of me, and also I have an interpreter here, Nada Diaz-Valorio, which actually works for our company, but she is going to be the interpreter in case you do have any direct questions for the owner.
Is she a good employee?
Excuse me?
Is she a good employee?
Very good. She's actually our map maker, does an excellent job.
All right.
We submitted
If you
this-
want a copy of the transcript, you could, next time you ask for a raise, you could.
Thank you, Mr. Pellegrini.
My pleasure.
We submitted revised site plans correcting a note on the plan itself, which was to note that the fence, which was originally called out to be Mrs. Mendez on the north property line, is actually not her fence. We verified it yesterday. It's actually the abutting neighbor, so we do not have a clear site issue, clear site triangle issue in reference.
So,
Okay, let's get that corrected so that if we are inclined to
gonna
approve it,
withdraw that.
it doesn't come in as that. So we find the official site plan. Let's get you to correct it so
who
the
drew-
record shows what we approved.
Correct.
Who drew this map?
The map was done by, the site plan was done by another person.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you gave us a new one with
Yeah.
the new fence on it.
I gave you a new site plan, putting a note on there that the north property line fence now says neighbor's fence, so it's not part of the matter today. There are no other material changes to the property from the approved site plan that we have submitted. So when I get to that part, the only fence that we're requesting a variance for would be on Elm Place, not on the north side property line.
All right, hold on, let's just get rid of,
If you want, I can approach to show you.
no, I think I have, Patrick, this is the one that's voided. Okay, this is voided. This is the old version without the native fence. Okay, you got it.
Where's the cellar entrance? Where is it?
If your thing doesn't say.
Throw that out.
fence on the top.
It's neighbor's driveway, neighbor's fence. This is it. Throw it away. That's wrong.
Mr. Pavone, you've been to the premises, I take it?
Excuse me?
You've been to the premises?
Yes.
And in the basement?
The basement, I'm going to go through that
Okay.
in my presentation because there is a definite history here, and I think that helps you to be able to make a decision.
Okay.
Is it okay to move forward?
Yeah, could you just tell me before you do, how long has your client owned the premises?
That was going to be my next statement.
Okay, go ahead.
Mrs. Mendez purchased the house in 2007 with the existing conditions of the dwelling as they are today. The original dwelling permit was issued in 1956 with a front yard variance and with the property and encroachments into the front yard. In 2003, which was prior to my client owning this property, an application was filed to construct a second-story addition, 2003-16475. After the town inspector visited the property in 2020, due to an open permit from 2017 for solar panels, and also the application that was never issued a permit in 2003, although the construction occurred sometime prior to Mrs. Mendez owning this property, the inspector noticed other violations on the property and issued appearance tickets, which were recently closed out in district court, as long as Mrs. Mendez were to follow the process, file applications, and part of that process ends up that we're here today for legalizing existing conditions, which would be variances, and to maintain the house as it is.
What were those tickets?
The violations were that there was an apartment in the basement, which now is shown on the plans that have been submitted to be in full compliance with the building code of the state of New York.
That bathroom's legal down there?
Excuse me?
The bathroom.
down there
Yes.
is legal?
Yes. So that's going to be part, it's also part of the maintain. You're allowed to have, under the building code of the state of New York, to have a bathroom in the basement, as long as you have recreational space. In the town code of the town of Hempstead does not permit living space in the basement, but you're allowed recreational space. This has a direct means of egress out, so therefore it would qualify as recreational space. It has all of the other requirements met for the building code.
But that's the state code. Does the town code also allow, as of right, the bathroom down there? If you
Yes,
have-
they do. It just doesn't allow living space. A bathroom isn't considered living space.
So both codes allow, as of right, the bathroom?
Yes. So I'll start with the fence after going through the brief history. The fence on Elm Place, which is a legal front yard of the property, the Leonard Avenue would be the principal front yard, being the smaller width of the property itself.
So the house fronts on Elm, you said?
So the legal address is on Elm Place. So that's the fence that's near the west and south property line, which on the opposite side of that fence, there's no abutting neighbor driveway. So the fence that's, what's that?
Doesn't it block their own driveway on Elm Place? According to Google Earth, it appears that way.
Correct. That would be on the property itself, yes.
Hold on, I just want to ask you, the one you just said there's no driveway, you mean the Buckner house?
Second.
Yeah, this one. Encroaches in the front yard. abutting the driveway.
Yes, that is correct.
So the Buckner, you're telling us for starters that Buckner driveway is not affected by this?
That's
proposed-
correct.
Okay. Keep going.
So, Mr. Pellegrini, you are correct that if somebody had to back up a car, again, in that area, and we could have that cut back 45 degrees or remove the fence if necessary in that area where you'd be able to see if you were backing up. But still, the remainder of the fence itself is a 4-foot-high PVC fence for 44.3 lineal feet.
But if you're backing out of that driveway and the fence is on that side, it really doesn't affect,
Sure it does.
if you're backing out like this and the cars are coming from here.
Well, what about somebody walking over
Yeah,
here?
the pedestrian would be the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your comment? Your comment is if you kill somebody walking, it's okay, and
No,
if they're
I'm
in a
just
car,
saying that
it's
the
it's
car
not an
traffic
issue?
is not,
Right.
because of,
Yeah,
it's not on
but
the other side.
pedestrian traffic is.
Yeah, there's a pedestrian traffic issue for sure.
And your client offered to cut that back?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Cut it back to
Angle.
clear side triangle, or
That would
cut
be
it all the way
45
back to the,
the clear side triangle only has to do with the corner.
No, now
Doesn't-
they use it for the
But this is
driveways,
just,
too.
in policy, a clear sight issue for a vehicle backing up. So normally the process would be to cut that section back on a 45-degree angle, so if somebody's backing up, they can turn and see if there's somebody actually walking on the sidewalk.
But it is a 4-foot, right?
That's a 4-foot-high PVC fence.
I mean, as you know, those used to be legal as, the presumption was, at that height, it wasn't an issue for visibility in a vehicle.
Correct.
Remember, it used to
but
be
it's-
that way.
To be quite honest, it's not a see-through fence, it's a solid.
Solid.
I know,
So
but you can
it giving, by cutting it back would give the additional ability to see somebody walking.
Go ahead.
Okay. Second variance is due to the dormer, which was constructed over the dwelling that was previously approved in 1956. The front yard setback on Elm Place is 20.73, with the dormer being constructed directly over the first floor. The last variance is the side yard setback, 4.6 feet, which is known as the side yard, whereas 5 feet is required. Again, that's the same issue with the dormer, that the house was constructed in 56. They're building it directly over it. This is common, and it has not been further reduced, so it'll be at the 4.6 feet. The existing conditions are a one-family dwelling, and all violations have been removed, maintaining recreational space in the basement, living space in the remainder of the dwelling. There is only one kitchen on the first floor of this dwelling. The existing conditions are well-maintained. They were constructed prior to, again, my client purchasing this house, and Mrs. Mendez is fully aware of the compliance that is required now and has made sure that everything has been corrected and will go as we move forward with permits when and if they are issued.
Mr. Bavone, was there also, when, in that prior litigation, there, you said there's a citation for an apartment in the basement. Was there a third apartment in the house?
I honestly don't know. I know that there's people, it's family that's living upstairs and downstairs. I am not aware whether there was a kitchen up on the second
Can
floor.
we ask her? Pasado.
There was at one point.
There was 3 apartments, and now all 3 of those are,
There was a kitchen on the second floor at one point, is what she's saying.
at one point when she owned it?
Cuando usted,
I know she didn't put it in.
cuando usted lo había comprado, ¿ya lo tenía? ¿O la segunda planta ya estaba allí? ¿O lo pusieron después? Pero ya se ha quitado. So there was at one point on the second floor, but it has been removed.
I understand. So, in your presentation, Mr. Bavone, like, the house had enough room for 3 apartments previously, I get it. But now, they want to, I get they've removed them, but now they want to have 7, 8 bedrooms and put an addition on the house, right?
Excuse me, I'm sorry?
In this application, just want you, as you go through it, to address, because now they want to put a two-story addition on the house too.
No, the two-story addition is a maintain.
Well, it says construct on mine. Am I misreading it? Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Maintain, I'm
See,
sorry.
again, it goes back to 1956. The way the house was constructed, it was constructed as a 4.6 setback. It's right over the existing dwelling. So sometime prior to 2007, when she purchased the house, there was an application that was filed in 2003. It was
Yeah.
constructed, but
They
never got the permit.
I know.
At closing, it wasn't identified, and now she has this issue to maintain and legalize it, which we're doing.
She's well aware of the fact that these kitchens can't go back.
She's well aware of what we need to do moving forward. Her attorney has resolved all the issues in district court. Spoke to the attorney yesterday. That's been closed, that matter, as long as we move forward. She knows that this can only be a one-family dwelling.
And she knows that means one kitchen.
Yes,
Like,
that is correct.
I know she's got a lot of family members living there. That's not a,
And that's why I made the statement that there's one kitchen in the house at this point.
Go ahead, Mr. Bone, finish.
So with the information that we submitted to the board, we're respectfully requesting an approval.
And I think you said it, but I was looking at plans. The front yard, you need front yard on both, right?
The front yard staying the same on both Leonard Avenue, which is the principal front, the legal front, which is the address, staying the same as the 20.73.
I thought the address was on Elm.
It's on Elm, I'm sorry. Elm is the legal address. The principal address, meaning the narrowest width, would be considered what's the front yard and what's the rear yard, and how the building department and the zoning thinks of what the side yard setback would be. It's
Okay, but
identified that way.
Just so we have the numbers on the record, if you already said, I apologize. So you need front yard on both, so what's proposed and what's required?
Front yard on Elm, which would be 20.73. The second front yard would be on Leonard, which would be 29.9 to the dwelling.
But
That's
what
for
is,
the main
there's-
structure.
There's an overhang on the basement entrance. What's the setback from the property line to the edge of the overhang?
The overhang on Leonard,
Yes.
that
To the-
would be
to
the
the
roof
basement
over that
entrance.
goes over the entranceway to the basement.
Yes.
That's about 4 feet into the setback. I don't have the exact dimension, because I have it to the stairs itself, which is 20 feet, and I can get that and have it revised and give you that number
But,
later this
but
afternoon.
wouldn't that be the real front yard setback request?
We have to know the
on
exact
Leonard?
number.
In this case, because of the fact that that dwelling went for variances back in 56, was issued certificates of occupancy as it was built with the front yard setbacks. The only change from that would be that roof over, which is, it's similar to any front portico that's permitted as an encroachment into the front yard.
But,
I still don't,
right,
conceptually, the front of the house is on Elm, which is, am I wrong? It's not the principal?
but
You have two
something,
front yards.
but that's
Yeah,
more fundamental.
I realize that. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But,
You
no,
can better
but you're
explain
right.
it.
No, but it's more fundamental. You're asking for front yard setback relief on both streets. Now, if on Leonard, if on Elm, it's already, you don't need it because it's already CO'd this way. Okay, fine, then we don't need it, which makes the caption, but we could fix that. If on Leonard, you only need it for that overhang, then we need the number, because if we approve it, they're gonna measure it.
Right, but the distance separation is 26.3 feet from on Leonard to the, it looks like it appears to be to that roof over.
Well, okay, are you
But-
saying you don't need any relief from us today for the two front yard setbacks?
That roof over is a permitted encroachment into the front yard setback, in my
So,
opinion.
okay, I'm not to battle you, but we have a request before us for the front yard setback on Elm and Leonard. Do you not need that relief?
Because the way I see that the building department issued denial, because it previously had variances prior to this, from 56. So what they're doing is they noted the variances run with the property.
I understand, but Mr. Bavone, let's just take each one. On Elm Place, you're telling us They had a CO for the house in that exact location in 56, and that's not changed.
Correct.
Okay, so we can dismiss your request for front yard setback relief on Leonard.
Okay?
I mean, it wouldn't be my advice, but now let's go to Leonard. On Leonard, the house is CO'd in its current location apparently, although I don't know how, if that 2003 request that never was permitted but was built, that two-story, I'm guessing that's the part that's sticking out toward Leonard, but I may be wrong. But if you need front yard relief on Leonard for that, if the overhang is a permitted encroachment and the house is otherwise set back to 29.9 or 26.8, depending on what you go by, whether it's the egress window or the actual structure, and you require 25, then you wouldn't need relief there either. But I find that hard to believe that if the building department rejected you for needing relief for front yard on both, it would seem to me it might behoove you to make sure you don't need it before we get rid of it. And I'm guessing that the reason you need relief is so while the house was built primarily in that same location without having the prior plans before me, I don't know, something must have changed because the building department doesn't think the house as it pertains to Elm Place or the house as it pertains to Leonard Avenue, setback-wise, is currently CO'd for its current location and needs relief. So I think, do you know what the house?
So what I can do, I can provide you with, before you make a decision, I could provide you with a copy of the plans that were approved back in 56, identify exactly what that setback is, and then identify the change, if there was any change. My understanding is that the dwelling itself, the way that the dormer was constructed over the existing dormer as it was previously approved.
Okay, so there you have it. So when their changes were made, whether it was dormers and a soffit, probably a cantilever, that changed the equation, so it's not, they can't rely on the 1956 CO. So
Then I have to give you those details of what the soffit is, because the soffit normally is
I don't need the soffit. All we need here is the accurate numbers that we're considering for this house, so that if we approve it where it is,
Understood.
we know what, and actually, unless you want to dismiss those things, it really doesn't matter too much, to me at least, I think, what was there. All we really need to be concerned with is what relief you need today and what those numbers are.
Understood. So let me I'll submit to the Secretary, to the Board, a clarification giving
About
you
the
the
numbers.
about the numbers with the old plans and what the new plans are. So, because we have a 56, 2003, and 2023, which is the maintain.
Yeah, all
of
we need
everything.
you to do is confirm, we'll put it on reserve or whatever.
Sure.
Confirm that the numbers are accurate on this site plan, the newest one you gave us.
Completely
As to the
understandable.
setbacks. Now, as to the front setback, I'm not sure what sticks out around there, but you were giving us some other numbers as to the setbacks. But I'm looking here at a brick walk and what probably is a porch, I don't know. But something is setback 15.2, something is setback 17.5, something is setback 20.73. So one of those numbers, it's what triggering the front yard request on Elm Place that the building department determined was the number to go by. We just need to know which one. So when we deliberate, and as it relates to Leonard Avenue, same thing. I'm guessing it's the 20, even though the stairs would probably be a permitted encroachment, the overhang may not be because it's higher, I don't know. But if you could just confirm this is accurate and which of those numbers, and I frankly would think ask the building department which one they use. So
We'll
if
have
we
it
approve it,
clearly identified for you, because my understanding was the reason why it was denied and why it's here today is because the building department looked at the previous variances that were approved and the house and the dormer being the way it was constructed. I will verify it for you.
we need to know on Elm what number the building department used for setback.
Okay.
There's a multitude of them here. I don't know which one they use, but whatever one they use is one we should use, so that if we grant relief, it's proper. So when they go inspect it again, you don't have an issue. And
Understood.
the same on Leonard. That's all. Because
Okay.
I don't think it makes sense to dismiss these requests now until we're sure that they're not needed, because I'm guessing it's better that you get them if you can.
We will have revised plans submitted immediately.
Okay.
Mr. Bavone, does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Bavone, you and your clients will all receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. And again, just get us the number that you want us to consider. I don't want to make too much work.
I respect
Yeah,
the comment.
I just don't want too
All in
much,
favor?
you'd have to do too much work.
Aye.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Next, we're going to call case 46924 through 47024. Belmore, Peter Skatukis. Install a pool in front yard on Croydon Drive with less than required setback. Maintain 10.5 high living fence, a portion which is forward dwelling on Croydon Drive, and its clear sight triangle at owner's driveway, which may substantially obstruct line of sight, also known as 23 Surrey Lane. Ms. Pangallo, we have you signed in from earlier, sworn in from earlier. If you could just give your name and address for the record.
Tina Pangallo, 549 Hempstead Turnpike, West Hempstead, New York. I'm representing Peter Skouturis of 23 Surrey Lane in Belmore. The property is located on the northeast corner of Surrey Lane and Croydon Drive in Residence B. We're requesting a variance to construct an in-ground pool in the front yard with less than the required setback. The setback required is 10 feet, and the setback provided is 6 feet. If the pool is set back 10 feet, the homeowner felt 2 feet was going to be too close to the house. Because it's a corner property, there are not a lot of options to position the pool. Mr. Skouturis has some medical issues, and the doctors feel the best form of exercise for him would be swimming. I'd like to submit a letter from his cardiologist. We're also requesting a variance to maintain a living fence 10.5 feet high and in the clear sight triangle. Because the fencing is a 6-foot wrought iron picket fence, the existing living fence would provide privacy. There will be children swimming in the pool as well as playing in the yard, and the trees offer privacy.
Ms. Pangallo?
Yes.
Hold 1 second.
Sure.
Our plan doesn't show the pool where it's proposed. I found very faintly, some words that say proposed something pool, but there's no, there's no line drawing.
On the plot plan?
Correct. Here, can you show
Is
us?
this? Is that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, it's a 14 by 28. So that's, you wanna, yeah, sure. Okay, sure.
Now, you can see that it actually
I
pulled.
saw the words, but,
It's just very faint.
oh, here's
You can
one, this
see
is better.
It still has the lines, so it is there, but it's just very faint.
Let me, hold on. I can't make it out. Let me do it.
Yeah.
Let me darken this. You need this back?
No, that's fine.
Okay,
I apologize for being so late. I didn't realize that came out so late on
Let
that
the
one.
record reflect the fact that Mrs. D'Amato's inartfully drawn pool,
It's accurate. It's in the right.
I didn't say it was inaccurate, I said it was inartfully drawn. I mean, I failed out of engineering school
Necessity is the mother
because
of
I couldn't draw a straight line, neither can you. All right.
Walk a straight line.
Occasionally. Okay.
So as far as the living fence goes, the trees have been there approximately 15 years. They started out small, they grew together, they grew taller. The homeowner didn't realize that would require a permit for a living fence.
Joe, did you pull that up?
I did explain to the homeowner that the trees in the 8-foot clear sight triangle by the driveway is an issue. He mentioned he doesn't park in the driveway because he parks in front of the house, but he understands the board's concerns with trees and driveways.
Front of the
He would
house
just
is
like
on
to
Surrey.
keep as much privacy as the board will allow with the living fence.
I don't know what the clearance is. There's gotta be a garage here. Yeah. Mark,
So it doesn't make a visibility problem
Yeah.
because the thing's so big.
what is it?
That's the
Okay.
living fence I'm showing you.
Yeah,
You see it's
but
not
Mark,
visible.
Mark has a point. Take a look. How does he get to the garage? He's got a garage back here. Go around the corner on the living fence issue. Yeah. Yeah, well,
Where's
it's
the
here.
garage? Oh, the
I
garage
don't
is
know how
over
you
here.
do this.
The garage.
Joe, you wanna pass those?
Yeah, look at it like this. This is the driveway.
Oh, yeah,
It's not a good thing.
except that, there it is. What a
Round
beautiful yard.
Yeah, he does understand the clear sight triangle in the driveway.
This corner.
So what about, does that interfere with his ability
Someone's
to
gonna
back up?
inspect it.
Yeah.
Not with cars, but people.
Mr. Pellegrini, would you like to inspect
I
that?
would. I was going to.
I'm sure you
It's
would.
beautiful hedge, but it might have an issue with his driveway.
I explained that to the homeowner.
Okay.
Okay, so you know that we will have an issue with the fence.
Yes.
The living fence. You want to make a proposal, or would you like the board?
Well, I mentioned to him that he'd probably have to take 8 feet and 8 feet on that corner there of the living fence down.
Would you like to propose that? or
Yeah, if
would
that's
you like
acceptable
us-
to the board?
Okay.
Hold on, one more thing though, Ms. Pengallo.
Yes.
If he were to put the pool in there, he's gonna have to put a fence around the pool anyway, and the hedge is in the way. How's that gonna work?
Well, that fence is the pool enclosure, that 6-foot wrought
Oh,
iron
there's
fence?
an iron on the outside of the hedge, okay.
Right, yes.
I didn't see that.
So it would just be, if he would just cut that corner of those trees down, of course, he'd like to keep as much privacy as possible.
Yeah, it's
But he
beautiful.
understands the driveway situation.
Yeah.
So if the board is agreeable to 8 feet by 8 feet, where he cuts down those trees, and it'll just be the fence in that corner?
So let me ask you, I have a hedge in my backyard, and I was surprised to discover that it needed 3 feet, that's the narrowest it could be, was 3 feet to have, and my hedge isn't as nice and big as that one. So if he's got 6 feet to the property line on this proposed pool,
Right.
and I'm gonna say, I guarantee you, at least 3 of that is taken by that hedge. Plus, he's got the iron
Right.
fence. How, is there room to do this at only a 6-foot setback there, given the fence, the hedge? I mean, I don't know, I guess Mr. Pellegrini's gonna go inspect it, but like,
Yeah.
when if he takes this off, but look, there's 6 feet here, and I guarantee you that hedge takes at least 3 feet. Because I know I was surprised when I did mine, I was like, wait, 3 feet for a hedge?
Joe,
The pool company had the fence,
You have photos?
I'm sorry, the pool company had the pool, sprayed in, you
Is it
know.
still sprayed in?
I believe it is,
Joe,
unless
he
the rain
thinks-
washed it away. It was sprayed in.
That's an attachment to the garage, like
yeah.
another garage.
Joe, she thinks that the pool's still sprayed there on the ground, so take a look sooner.
I will take a look.
Sure.
Sooner.
The photo doesn't seem to fit in with the site plan with the addition to the garage.
Roof over to be filed. It says on the site plan, roof over to be filed for. Has that already been filed for?
Yes, that has a
Sometimes
permit.
there's old language on, has it been finished or is it a ride-along or what?
It's an approved application. He hasn't given me the fee yet to pick it up, but it is an approved application.
So he got the permit for that, and
That's-
may or may not have closed it, but he was granted an as-of-right permit for it.
That's correct. That's 24-4579.
Yeah, it does look on Google, whatever, the overview, it looks as if that overhang is as large as the garage itself. And on the drawing, it looks significantly smaller.
And what is that attachment to the garage?
It's a roof over. I think I should have the plans here.
Bigger than a roof over. In other words, the garage is, does this addition, it seems like the addition to the garage no longer makes it a garage.
Either, there's the plans, maybe that would be helpful.
What's that?
It's open.
Yeah, structurally, so these are the plans that were approved as of right?
That's correct.
So so the drawing's just off. You see how it's small?
Yes.
Because plans you're showing us as being approved appear to match what we're seeing in Google Earth size-wise.
Yes.
The drawing here just shows something. And it's currently, you've been there, Ms. Pangallo?
Yes.
And it is an open roofed over.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't know if this of any help that shows it open. That's it. The rest are just the trees.
Yes.
He was,
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you.
The house is beautifully
That clarifies.
maintained.
yes. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, that concludes your presentation, I would expect.
Yes.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Pangallo, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Second, all in favor? Any opposed?
Next, we have case 47124, Wantaw, Matthew and Yuta Glover. Variance, front yard, average setback, construct roof porch attached to dwelling, also known as 1795 Muroki Avenue.
Brandon Hamchuk, 783 Pat Drive, West Islip, New York, 11795. I am the architect of the record.
Matthew Glover, 1795 Maricoke Avenue, Wantaw, New York, 11793. I'm the homeowner.
Good morning. So before you, we are requesting a front yard variance for a new porch. Based on the average front yard and what we are allowed to be permitted, what's a permitted encroachment, we are requesting 2 feet into that front yard. Reason being, I'm including the roof of the porch. The actual front of the porch only encroaches 1 foot into that front yard setback. Reason being, we do not comply is if you look at the north side of the left side of the house, there is a bump out with windows in it. This is an existing condition. So in order to get at least 3 feet in front of that bump out window and the porch pillars, I had to come out the additional 1 foot. And again, that is why we are encroaching on the front yard. This is a small block where all the kids play in the street, and the parents, the homeowners, would like a place to sit on their front lawn out of the sun and enjoy their children playing in the street. I will take any questions.
I do. Of course. So I'm looking at your zoning chart.
Okay.
And there's a number in the required column. There's a number for front yard. It says 30 minimum. Then there's a number for average front yard, 27.81 minimum. What are the two numbers? Because usually front yard, this isn't a corner lot, is it?
Not a corner lot. No.
Right. So I get the average front yard, 27.81, but what is this number that says the required front yard is 30-foot minimum? Where does that come from?
In the zoning resolution, it's a 30-foot minimum in this Residence A zone unless it's controlled by the average front yard. So I gave the,
So that's the number for the corner in an A zone.
I'm sorry,
So
the 30-foot is in the zoning resolution as what is required in a front yard setback, is 30-foot minimum. But then if you go down into that, further into that section, it says, or average front yard setback.
Okay, is the applicable number here the average front yard requirement?
It is.
Okay. And so that's 27.81.
0.8.
Correct.
And you put the 19, proposed 19.77 in the other row, but
Right.
are we to compare, is the number we're asking to approve the 19.77?
So again, the 1977 is to the roof of the porch, which projects 1 foot beyond the face of the porch.
Right.
Again, I was giving you guys the absolute,
But what's the number the building
Worst
department
case
uses?
scenario.
they used the 1977.
Okay, so what we're talking about here is a requirement, front yard average of 27.81, and you're asking us to deviate from that down to the 19.77. It's important we use the building department number, because if we use a different number and say, okay, we approve it, and then they go out and we approve the 20-something or whatever, they go, you're gonna have a nightmare. 'Cause- so we needed to deliberate and make our decision based on the number you need, which is the number the building department determined was the relevant encroachment.
Understood.
So we agree it's the 1977. That's all I need.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You will both receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. Thank you.
so much.
Have a nice day.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes the morning calendar. We're going to take a 5-minute break before we do the 11 o'clock adjournment.
Because it's not yet 11 o'clock.
Because, hold it, wait.
I thought we recalled that.
That's 4:55. Is anyone here on 455, case 455 of 2024? That's Zuniga's?
Ginger and Zuniga. Well, we only have one more case.
All right, so we're going to, Patrick, call 455, please. Okay.
Second call for case 45524 near Westbury, Ginger M. Zunga. Renewal of grant to maintain a pool and pool deck not permitted in front yard on Lance Lane and with less than required front yard setback. Maintain a 6-foot-high fence larger than pool installation area and forward of the dwelling, which may substantially obstruct line of sight, also known as 23 Melody Lane.
So the building department inspected it on April 15th and found that all previously mandated conditions imposed by the board have been complied with. Kind of troubles me that part of the application is maintaining a fence larger than pool installation, which might substantially obstruct the line of sight. I did not, but I'm not sure that I don't want to adjourn the case and have somebody look at it. Patrick, I'm going to adjourn this case, and I'd like somebody on the board to run out there and take a look. Mr. P. When is the next available date on this, Patrick?
We could do it at the next hearing. Doesn't need to be any mailings done. So we could do it at July 24th at
7/24.
11.
11. All right. That concludes the morning calendar. We'll be back in 3 minutes to do the 11 o'clock adjournment. Brian Dang. Gazebo, higher and larger. All right, let's cut it short. Call the 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. Yeah, why not? Patrick, call the 11 o'clock. It's not a heavy lift. Doesn't appear to be. It's 11 o'clock. All the bells rang. Go ahead. Pardon? Is she okay? Ooh. That's a weird laugh. Who? Maintain gazebo.
Okay. We'll be
Interesting.
calling case 4924 Belmore, Brian Dang. A special exception to maintain second accessory structure, gazebo higher and larger than permitted and exceeding horizontal maximum, also known as 2017 Briggs Street.
Okay. Mr. Griffin.
Hello. My name is Ryan Griffin. I am partial owner of Captain Permit. I'm representing the owner, Brian Dang, at 2017 Brick Street.
Okay, you're here on a special exception to maintain a second accessory structure, a gazebo higher and larger than permitted and exceeding horizontal max. Do you want to tell us what is required and what you're asking for?
So unfortunately, this is a prefabricated, it's a gazebo basically that you
Okay.
buy at Wayfair, and it's a see-through gazebo.
Okay,
It's over by less than 1 inch in height, which we thought was a little insignificant for a variance. And then the side yard, the width of it is 13.5, so it's 1.5 over the permitted
so it's
width allowed.
13.5
13.5.
versus 12, which is
Yes.
permitted. And it is how high? 9
Say
9 feet, 1 inch?
Yeah, 1 inch.
Versus 9 feet.
And what's the total square foot?
It was 150.
Where are the measurements?
Hold on a minute.
The total square foot was 152.5.
As opposed to 145.
Yes, so there was a relief of 8.5.
Can I just ask you why it was adjourned previously?
We didn't have the mailers in time, so I thought previously that the mailers were done, but they were not.
So it was defective notice before?
What's that?
So it was the defective notice previously?
Yes.
Oh, okay, it's not noted on mine, and I thought usually it is, but,
And that's your case, correct?
Yes. Yeah, he wants to keep it. There's no way to shrink it in any way. He just wants to keep it as is.
Understood.
The secondary structure is a 5.5 shed, so it's a very small other shed that he was allowed, which he has a permit for.
Yeah.
no, honey, I shrunk the shed. Got it?
Yeah.
All right.
And do I have to state my address for the record? Okay, yeah, my address for the record is 245 Route 109, Suite D, in West Babylon, New York.
Okay. Any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Sir, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's ready.
Thank you very much.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that concludes the morning calendar. We'll take a 10-minute break, come back and do decision.
Thank you.
first. All right? Let's go. 1386 of 2024, St. Christopher's. That was granted from the bench. All right? 454 of 2024, Oceanside, Francesco and Kenzie Fantasia. That, we granted an appearance waiver on that, and do I have a motion?
I make a motion, index number 454 of 24, Francisco and Kenzie Fantasia renewal of grant to maintain 4- and 6-foot fences, granted 5 years, same conditions.
Second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next case, 455 of 2024 near Westbury. Ginger Zuniga, that case has been adjourned to July 24th at 11 a.m. Next case, 456 of 2024, Belmore, MK Belmore Realty LLC. Do I have any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I have a motion with 5-year conditions for 45624. I make
To
the
approve.
motion.
Granted as requested.
Right.
5 years. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Case 457 of 2024, Baldwin. That case has been adjourned. Butchimali, DBA Dover Coral House. Case is adjourned to August 7th at 9:30 a.m. Because I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be here. Unless you want to chair it. Sure you do.
Let's do today.
All right. All right, next case, 458 of 24 Baldwin, Wesley and Tara Hurley. This was a renewal. Do I have any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 458 of 24 Baldwin, Wesley, and Tara Hurley, located at 697 Beach Street, be approved as requested with normal two-family conditions.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next case, 459 of 2024, Elmont Mobile Gas Station. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that case 459 of 2024 in Elmont Mobile Gas Station, have you previously described it, be approved as requested, same sign conditions, 5 years.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Cases 460 through 463 of 2024, Franklin Square, Thomas Grasso. That's maintaining a wood shed, but it's a senior residence case. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
Okay. I move that case number 460, 463, that we amend the caption as discussed at the board, at the hearing. And,
To include larger for the shed, right?
yes,
Higher.
higher
I'm
than,
sorry,
higher than, taller. And that we grant the application.
5 years. Senior residence conditions. Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And abstentions? Case 464 of 2024, Elmont, Marie Sherry, DBA JCM JC Incorporated. That has been adjourned to August 7th at 11 a.m. Next case, cases 465 and 466 of 2024, Levittown, Stephanie Morales. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move cases 465 and 466 of 2024. Property location is 6 High Lane in Levittown. Be granted as requested.
Second? Second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Cases 467 and 468, Uniondale, Maria Mendez.
We're holding that
Yeah,
to
We'll
wait
hold
for
it.
the submission of those numbers. that-
Yeah, clarification is to be provided.
How does anybody feel about the basement entrance on that?
I deny it.
So do I.
Okay.
That's
We'll
3.
Talk about that.
Just so we all remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
Cases 469 and 470 of 2024 Belmore. Peter Skoutakis.
Mr. Pellegrini was going to inspect that.
Yeah, and the applicant offered to cut back 8 foot off the living fence, catty corner it. All right, case 471, so that's a whole. Case 471 of 2024, Wantor Matthew and Judita Glover. Variance, construct a roof over porch, front yard average setback. They were kind of nominal, but any discussion from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, index number 471, Wantor Matthew and Judith Glover, 1795 Maricoke Avenue, be granted with conditions.
Second.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wait.
I took mine off. I was humming that, so I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, when everybody's mics are on at the same time. You don't like the tune we hum?
We're now going to
You guys are
de-hum
just
it.
like hummers.
Okay, cases 472 and 473 of 2024 Near Valley Stream, Eric and Ilana Cohen. That case was adjourned to August the 7th at 11 a.m. Then we have the 11 o'clock adjournment. Mr. Case 49 of 2024 Belmore, Brian Dang. Do I have any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion for a special exception to maintain second accessory structure, 4924 Belmore.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Let's go to the videotape on the reserve calendar. Anything on page 1? Anything on page 2? Update on?
On cases 300 of 24 through 301 of 24.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Prozac.
Prozac. Patrick and I had a meeting with Councilwoman Miller and who was state senator? The county ledge? Mike?
All right.
We did yesterday.
And they're going to run it up the chain and up in Albany to see if that passed muster.
For legislation or just?
To make sure.
Funding.
Make sure that funding-wise, that what we grant
Yeah.
would allow them to get funding.
Okay.
Or as a mother-daughter, I missed it.
No.
Senior residence?
It's.
As a hybrid.
Yeah, as basically a carve-out, so basically you want to make sure that the state
Yes.
is okay with our carve-out, because again, they did not meet their standards for treatment. But we want to
Okay.
carve, you know?
We're going to carve it out. We're going to try to carve it out.
Yes, yes.
Anything else on page 2?
Nope.
Ooh, peachy keen. Anything on page 3? Did they supply, 403 supply elevation updated plans? Oh, okay. Anything on 414? Anybody inspect that? Oh, wait a minute, 414, the very controversial one, I did look at it. It's just north of Eagle Avenue, and the whole place is a mess. But I want to go out, I looked at it on a weekend, I'm going to go back and look at it on a weekday. That's a hold, inspect weekday.
Did you submit landscape plans or anything with this case?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Yeah, you know what, that corner, I'm just wondering, what in the name of heaven was there before? I don't remember.
What, John?
What was on that property before? The whole place is a mess, and the
Yes.
guy with, the other guy, the Mason Supply guy,
He was crazy.
Oh, this is that case?
He says, here
I
I
mean,
am, shoot me.
this is the mea culpa.
I know which one.
Yeah, that's the mea culpa. It's all my fault. Wonder what that was all about.
Apparently, there was a subsequent meeting, so we have received some submissions from the community
Yeah.
after the close of the hearing, which are in the file. So the board has reviewed them and.
Well, I need to review them, so we're gonna have to hold this.
Great.
Well, you're not a board member. You're a holdover.
What am I?
Yes.
They were parking,
Yeah, trailers
Good
trailers
memory.
coming in and out.
But the
I went there on a weekend. It wasn't bad, but it's a weekend. You know, it's a Saturday.
That's
So
the
I'm
neighbor, not
gonna
this
go
guy.
back.
Correct.
All right. Anything else?
I wonder if,
What? I'm sorry, Joe.
I'm wondering if our town planning department has something to do a streetscape on this particular area.
Exactly. You get my-
It's in dire need of something.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, that's-
everything's right out in the open.
What's
mean,
in
maybe-
need of what?
A streetscape to, the planning department has funding often, and they address certain areas, and perhaps they can go into this area, and somebody could contact planning.
That way until she called my.
All right, we're going to hold it.
Okay. So, we have an update on 440-24 Levittown, Daniel Ginther, 7-face fence lane.
There is a unregistered auto on the front lawn. I would
always nice.
communicate with them to get rid of it within 30 days, and then we'll decide their case. That's my
Well,
opinion.
can we modify that? We're going to decide this case in 30 days, and if the car's still there, we're going to take that into account.
That's a better way of putting it, see?
All right? Tell him he's got 30 days, and he should do whatever he thinks is appropriate in order to incur favor.
What do you say about the,
What about the,
well, wait,
Well,
I know why the
hold-
auto, wait,
hold
I
on.
know why the auto's on the lawn, because he needs the garage to put it in, then he's, what do you say about the use variance?
use
This-
variance
this-
case?
This is a Levitt house, it already has a garage attached to it. They want to put another garage in the back, detached or somewhere, I don't know how you could detach it.
Wait, is that unregistered car like a collectible car?
No, it's a
Piece of junk.
piece of junk.
Tell him that the board's going to make a decision in 30 days,
And leave it
and that's it. We'll leave it at that,
And
and
that-
then we'll deal with it
And
at
that-
the appropriate time.
And you want her to tell them, or whoever to tell them that the board noted during its inspection that there was an unregistered vehicle which is in violation of town.
Subtly. Do it very subtly.
Next,
Next is 443 of 2024, Roosevelt, Tanya Williams, Mr. P. was absent.
you remember that.
Subdivision, Roosevelt.
Oh, is this the one with the hair salon?
Yes, okay, so I did find out a little bit. I know the board asked me to look at the neighboring property 31 Centennial, which also had that cottage, to see whether or not that cottage was
Right.
legal. So I did do a search, and there was fire damage to that house back in 2007, right? So the building inspector at the time told the applicant that they need to file for non-conforming to have, you know, the cottage legalized. They never did so. So technically, the cottage is not legal. That being said, I think that it probably would be legalized if they went for the non-conforming, subject to whatever else they had to do with respect to the property.
Because the cottage was there
Cottage was there.
pre-1930 or whatever.
Correct. And I actually found out a little bit why these cottage houses exist. Apparently, way back when it was too hot prior to air conditioning, everyone in the house would sleep in the little cottages, which would just have all open windows and whatnot, so it would make sleeping more comfortable. You know, you don't have
Like a bunk room.
correct. So it would just
Summer
make it
bunk
more.
Who presented this case?
This was. What was this case?
This is the one where there were two houses,
O'Brien.
And she had a
And
hair
that-
salon. I don't think it was
It was not
O'Brien.
O'Brien?
So
Okay.
O'Brien.
Yeah, and
Yes. Yeah.
That's right, she was.
But they never got the permit.
yeah, but now they
applied
want
to
to
be a
put
beauty
3
salon.
residences
And I did find
on a
out-
subdivided lot.
And I did find out that basically the renting out that cottage house is completely legal. Just because of the configuration that it's a legal cottage house on that property.
Even without letter of no objection.
Wait a second.
There's no letter of no objection on
But wait
it, I
a minute.
remember that.
It was a cottage house for sleeping. If
That's
it
the
now has a
initial-
kitchen, is it legal to rent it
It's
out as a kitchen
According,
thing?
I spoke to the chief plans examiner, and yes, it is.
So somewhere they put in a kitchen without a permit, and now it's a legal residence.
You can rent it out, yes.
Build it and they will come.
Okay, so wait, so that's legal.
Give me a break.
So on that land, maintain dwelling and cottage on lesser lot. So the choices we have are keep 2 families on that space or put 3.
Correct,
But 2 are legally there.
correct.
I, just for the record, I did watch the entire video. I'm totally familiar with it. How could, this was there was some discussion about it being on 18,000, on an 18-foot. The lots were different.
When the
Was it
cottage was legal.
When the cottage was legal, and they never applied for the non-conforming. Now they want to, Mrs. D'Amato had some discussion about it, what the size of the original lot was with the cottage. But they never, do they lose their, if they in fact did file for a non-conforming, if they split the lot, is that?
Not if we grant it.
Yeah,
The non-conforming would legalize what's there. And then if we grant.
The
subdivision.
would have no effect on the cottage house, it would remain legal.
If we grant it. If we say, okay, we're gonna let you maintain that house and cottage on a lesser lot.
Yep.
Then it's not gonna affect their adversely their non-conforming if it exists. Although, wait,
Because
the
the lot size
non-conforming
didn't matter.
doesn't exist though, or it does.
I thought, I could be mistaken, I thought that it did
was.
exist so long as they removed the beauty parlor. That was my
So-
understanding, because there were non-conforming findings.
Because that would affect it.
That
If the
was-
non-conforming wasn't yet gotten, then the carve-off would affect it, because they would go, oh, is this the legal non-conforming like it was in 1930? Oh, no, this is on a way smaller lot, and it's not the same.
Apparently, the lot size doesn't affect it, I asked that question.
Oh, I,
How do you grant 443? How do you do that?
I don't disagree with you.
Okay, all right. Somebody like to make a motion on 443 and 444?
I move that, I think it should be denied, the subdivision.
Second?
Denies both of
Think
them.
of that? Yes.
Denies it all. Second on that? Any second for denial?
I second.
All in favor of the denial?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, I do also have a little bit of an update on 447 of 24 East Atlantic Beach. So the attorney actually reached out and wants to submit a little extra evidence, so reopen the case.
This is the one with the tiny, tiny
side
setbacks.
yards.
Yeah.
He wants to submit, let me get it straight, wants to submit additional evidence and wants us to reopen the case.
It's just an extrapolation of what was testified. Remember, he brought up old cases, but he didn't know the side yards? He just has that additional information now. He had mentioned old cases that the
Second
board had
bite.
granted.
Second bite at the apple.
You know what? Okay, that's got to be unanimous. Is that right? Somebody want to make a motion on that one? Anybody have any strong feelings about whether or not the case should be reopened or you'd have to reapply?
I'd say we just leave it the way it is.
So, I agree, I'm not inclined to grant a rehearing.
Okay,
That's,
Gotta-
because
gotta
you
be
know what?
unanimous.
In addition, those numbers are numbers we can get ourselves.
Correct.
And,
That's fine.
you know,
I don't think the case
So
was terribly
then, do
problematic.
we want to act on this case?
I
that's
want,
before
I
us?
know I had a bit of an issue with this case. I'm not ready to deny it, but I would like to, I wanted to look at the papers again because I have the basic
which
site
case are
plan.
you talking about?
447,
447.
yeah. I looked at part of it, I looked at it quickly, I didn't have a measure with me.
We're gonna
and I
hear
want
it.
to look at the other houses again
Hold it.
and the papers.
We're going to
out.
hold it. It's going to hold it.
Now, have you
Delta Dawn? Delta Dawn.
She went to Florida.
All right, no dancing.
She left with that guy.
She's
She went to
looking-
lunch with that guy.
El Grande.
Okay, so,
Couture.
can you bring
She
the...
went to- looked at it. I looked at it, not to step on your toes, Mark, but
You're the boss.
I'm not a boss.
Boss man.
I'm just a board member as far as that is concerned. Personally, I can't make the motion.
I'd like to make a motion that the application for Conklin Estates LLC for variances, which is to build a 16-unit apartment building in a residential area, be denied.
Anybody want to second that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Also listened and to all the evidence in this particular hearing.
Watch like this.
So I will vote.
The issue on, the issue on that case was not Sheridan Boulevard. It was a side street that's, as you go further, is residential, and there was no way for the tractor trailer to turn themselves around. So Sheridan Boulevard would be okay, in my
So we
opinion.
should reopen it for the
Yeah.
DOT word considering modification.
In my opinion.
The board is inclined to grant modification.
Case number?
It's case number 417,
Oh,
and the address is right here.
Mr. Chairman, I move, as it relates to case 417 of 2024, the property is located at 203 Sheridan Boulevard in Inwood, was it Inwood? Inwood, that we grant the written request to reopen the case to hear corrective testimony as it relates to deliveries by tractor trailer with a view toward considering whether or not we wish to amend the condition precluding such deliveries. Aye.
Can we put specifically that it's got to be on Sheridan Boulevard? Because that's the issue, because if it goes onto the side street, it's going to be a disaster.
And
Okay. So what will we be doing then? Grant? Documentary testimony? Okay.
Correct.
So,
modify.
so then if we're all okay with it, then I would move, as it relates to that same case, to 417 of 2024, that we grant administratively the modification of the condition precluding tractor-trailer deliveries so that one tractor-trailer delivery per week on Sheridan Avenue and solely on Sheridan Avenue be permitted between the hours,
It's right over here, of 6:30 and 7 a.m.
between the hours of 6:30 and 7 a.m. And that delivery may not take place anywhere but on Sheridan. That's my motion.
So the second page is, it just talks about the two checks that were submitted. It's.
Have a second on that case? All in favor?
Aye. Now do I have to close it?
I mean, it's easy to say.
I don't-
Deliveries from a certain period of time, but, you know, who actually, I think that's.
Usually the neighbors. Usually the neighbors. If we send out the modification to the people in the community, that's what we should make sure we do. Send out to the people, was anyone here?
Nobody was here.
All right, well, we'll put it on file or whatever, but it's the neighbors. So if some neighbor, do we have a way that if a neighbor calls the building department will know about the condition? Is there a mechanism for that?
The grants are on file.
Yes, there's a couple ways of enforcing it. Building department going out there and actually seeing it, which is.
Won't happen unless someone calls.
And also if it's that early.
What they can do is if a neighbor sees it happen, they take photos, they can swear an affidavit, town attorney's office, issue, summonses based
I
on.
hope we didn't do it too early in the morning. Well, do we have no idling on that too? We need to make them no idling.
That's like a main street.
Okay.
There's a lot of traffic.
But curious, let me ask you, if someone calls the building department,
They also, there's a shoulder there, but they also have a loading dock on Sheridan.
How do you get
Correct?
into the loading
Yes.
dock?
You'd have to reverse it to
But
it.
they had said, I think it's testimony from what I remember, that wasn't gonna be there, that's what the building next to it or something.
There's another loading dock on the side street.
Yeah, that's the problem,
The side street's the
where we
problem.
don't want to tractor trailers
Yeah.
because
And
there's nowhere, it's.
well, what do they use that one for, box trucks or something?
that one is for a separate business.
Oh, that's not even,
That's not, that's a separate business.
but,
The thrift shop. Exactly.
but you know what would be really useful as a general matter is if our conditions were somehow in a place where if the building department got a complaint, that when they pull up, whatever they pull up to look at, like, oh, I'm complaining about this, they get a call, that they would say, oh, hold on, there were some conditions with the BZA,
It is up there. It's
And do they
right on
put-
OpenGov. It
and
would
they
be
look at
there.
it if someone
They
calls?
should.
Okay, yeah, agree.
The file, like the history of the file, to see what's on.
Okay. I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman. Case number, that's a tracking number, is that the right, is it that in reverse?
Nope.
2022 case?
Yeah, it's not about matched.
Might
Right
be,
there. Yep, it's right like that, so it's.
okay, Mr. Chairman, as it relates to case number 519 of 2022, Maurice Taylor, 43 Lace Lane, Westbury, New York, I move that we grant, that we I don't need to reopen, that we sua sponte grant the applicant is it an extension of time?
No.
Re-grant, we re-grant the previous grant to, which in effect extends the time for the applicant to pick up the permit.
Yeah, it's a reopening.
Reopening and sua sponte. And then,
Second. All in favor?
aye.